All right, sports fans, we are here on location across the line. Now a homecoming 2025. Please be joined by new head coach Scott Brady, familiar with the program though, former player, former D coordinator, making his return here. Scott, big season for you coming back. Maybe tell us a little about the excitement surrounding your return here to Mount Allison.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming.
Yeah.
I was super excited to come back. How encouraging and supportive everybody has been like beyond anything I could have expected. It's been really cool just reconnecting with so many people and seeing the support and positive energy around our program. Like, it has exceeded any expectation I have, and it's just super cool to see.
Yeah, you've come back. You've put together quite the coaching staff here as well. Your former head coach Kelly Jeffrey, along with another, I guess, a lot of other talented former Mounties here that have joined the staff. Maybe tell us about how sort of good it's been to sort of rebuild the coaching staff here with a lot of former Mounties that have some Mountie pride.
Yeah, it's been awesome. The opportunity to work with Kelly is a dream, like not something that we were ever sure we'd have the opportunity to do. It's something we talked about a lot ever since both of us had left here. And just like how much we enjoyed working together, how much I learned from him. He's been an incredible mentor for me throughout my career. And we just always talked about how great it would be if we had the opportunity to work together, and then to do it at a place that like we both love so much and have had success here before. I don't know, you couldn't write a better script. It's been awesome. And then like we were very intentional, or want to be really intentional about getting as many people back around this program who love this place, who care about it, who understand what makes it special and have experienced success here. And I think we've done that with our staff. And I love the group we have together. Like, especially the guys who played for us, and watching them like grow up in this program, have success here, come back, like share the lessons they learned during their time here, and share their experience with the guys and their pride for this place. It's been super fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, you can tell a buzz around campus, lots of excitement building up here for this homecoming game against Acadia. You mentioned Kelly Jeffrey coming on as the offensive coordinator, heavily involved with football in New Brunswick as well. Yeah. Maybe tell us a little bit about how that's going to help, obviously recruiting the best talent here in the province to come back here to Mount Allison.
Yeah, I think he's the best coach I've ever worked for. I mean, he was the one who was here, who built this place into what it was. When we went to 4 straight championship games and won back-to-back Loney Bowls. So, like, he's done it before. Yep. It's a really unique opportunity to have somebody who sat in this chair, like, with the program every single day, helping us rebuild it, and who understands what it takes to be successful. And then also, you know, having experience in professional football since leaving here as well. And so for all the success he's had, he's continued to learn and grow as a coach, and so he's been able to share lessons he's learned since then. And then I think we have a great story to tell. Like, there's so much support around the program right now, and as we're trying to get back to that championship standard here, we can legitimately tell people, like, we've got as good a coaching staff as you can find anywhere in the country. If you're quarterback, receiver, offensive lineman, like, you're going to be coached by a guy who's been an offensive coordinator in the CFL. He's coached at the highest level, which is something a lot of recruits aspire to. Yep. And that, plus some of the facility upgrades and things that we're doing here, I think we can legitimately tell people that we can develop you as good as anybody in the country here.
Yep. Definitely, you guys are building that program. Lots of construction going on over here, the old Allison Gardens. Like you said, former D coordinator here at Mount A, went away to McMaster as the D coordinator up there. Maybe tell us what some of the lessons you've taken from that experience going to sort of a big school program that you've sort of brought back here to Mount A with yourself.
Yeah, I think it was a really cool opportunity for me to learn in a different environment. Like, I had only ever been at Mount A before that, whether as a player or as a coach. And again, like, Kelly's the best coach I ever worked for. I learned a ton here. But I think it was important for me to see something else. Yep. And getting into a program that does have access to like great facilities, great resources, everything else. You do learn some things. I think I've improved a ton in terms of like how to structure like a national recruiting plan and those types of things. But the other thing it did is it really reinforced a lot of things that we were doing here before. Yep. Right? And so we really believed in it. We thought we were doing some great things here, but there's always kind of that like question in your mind, like, this is really all I know, like maybe there's something else out there. But then once you go somewhere else and see it, you know, there was a number of moments where I was like, man, we have a better version of this. We maybe don't have like the same facilities or something behind it, but like we were doing this at a really, really high level. And so it reinforced a lot of the lessons that I learned here. And then again, you try to bring back like something positive from like everybody that you've worked with. So like working with Coach Knox, like his recruiting strategy and plan, I think is the best that I've seen. And so that's something that we've tried to bring here as well. And I think it's been really fun, like especially with Kelly and I getting together and sharing some of the lessons that we've learned since our time here and collaborating on it. It's been awesome.
Yep. Lots of good things happening here at Mount A. Like you mentioned, sort of the alumni and the history and the pride here at Mount A. Gary Ross's jersey being retired here today at homecoming. Eric Lapointe, Grant Keeney being honored here as well, honorary captains. Maybe tell us a little about how you've implemented a lot of the history here and the pride from the program so that today's players can experience that.
Yeah, ever since the start of training camp, one of the things we want to be intentional with is just connecting our current players with our former players as much as we possibly can. And this is the 70th year of football at Mount Allison.
Yep.
And if you look back through our history, like we have had some of the very best players in the history of U Sports football here. Gary and Eric are both on the Sportsnet Top 50 college football players of all time list. The three guys who are back this weekend are three of the top four in the history of the AUS in all-purpose yards. So we've had some pretty legendary players here. So getting them all back at the same time is phenomenal. I think they deserve the recognition for all the success that they had here. But even beyond those guys, we just want to have as many people who love this place, who care about it, who understand what makes it special and unique and want to see it do well, like interacting and engage with our players, knowing what's going on with our program and feeling connected to it again. And so getting them back around the program and our current players is a huge priority for us.
All right, joined by a Mount A defensive back, Owen O'Neill here, Tantramar native from Sackville. Maybe tell us a little bit, I guess, your success that you had at Tantramar here in the high school level before even coming to Mount A.
Yeah, Tantramar. First of all, Sackville is a great community to grow up in. Tantramar had a lot of success, and I just owe it all to the culture that we built, the culture my dad built, guys like Dave Burns, and just the brotherhood that we had. I owe it all to that. I had personal success, but I owe it all to that. The culture that we built.
Yep. How many championships was it that you had at Tantramar when you were there?
I was a part of 4 championships. We won 4 in a row from 2017 to 2019. Yep. If that adds up correctly. Or 2016 to 2019. Yeah. Yeah. Again, just very thankful and grateful to have those memories and to be a part of those teams with the guys. And yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, your dad, head coach at Tantramar for a number of years. Seems like a championship every year that he was the head coach down there. Your brothers came through the program. Your dad played here. You know, football community in Sackville is pretty strong. Was it almost a foregone conclusion that you're going to look at Mount A here for football, or what sort of made the decision for you to suit up in the garnet and gold?
Yeah, basically it was a decision I knew I was going to make. Like I've been coming to these games all my life, and my dad. They're calling my dad the GOAT of high school football coaching. So growing up under his leadership, and my mom played rugby here too. Yep. My older brother played here, so it was basically a decision I made very early on. I wanted to play here, and I wanted to carry on the family legacy, and I just love the culture that I grew up seeing and wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. Obviously, stand out on the field here for the Mounties this year. You talk about the culture you guys had at Tantramar, sort of that your dad helped build and how tight it was, leading you to those championships. Well, what have you seen here with sort of the culture at Mount A since you've started playing at the university level?
In the past or this year?
Either or, yeah, either history or even something different this year.
History. I mean, I've been a part of. We've had some good teams here that I've been a part of here. And now you can feel the culture start to shift with Coach Brady and the new coaches that we have in here. And but again, just the brotherhood. There's always been that brotherhood, and that's the part I love most about football is the brotherly love and the guys that I got to meet along the way, and just battling with my brothers and putting everything into this just to win games and just enjoy being here and enjoy playing this sport.
Yeah. You talk about brotherly love. You've got a few brothers that have played here as well as your dad. How much competition is there between the brothers to sort of for bragging rights, maybe around the supper table?
There's a lot, but not as much as you'd expect. It's more so inspiration. I was inspired by my older brother, and I have a younger sister too, and we just look to inspire each other more so than bragging rights. It's more about inspiration, and I'm always just trying to inspire my younger siblings and even my older brother, and we all inspire each other, and it's more about that than any competition, but there's a little competition.
All right, please be joined by Mount Allison H-back, fullback, Reichert Balf. Reichert, originally from Ottawa, made your way down here year 5 now with the Mount Allison Mounties. Maybe tell us a little about what made your decision to come out east here to Sackville.
Yeah, well, so I was a COVID class guy, so I actually didn't even get the pleasure of coming out to get a visit here. But I talked to people in my life that had been to Mount A, that had been to other smaller schools. I come from a military background, so a lot of smaller communities in that, and I just knew I wanted to be in a small community. I want to be somewhere where you know everyone, you know all the faces, and everyone knows you, and you can really build strong bonds that last for life.
Yeah, like you said, you guys seem to have a pretty tight core here. Like you said, you and Owen in the same sort of class here. Tell us how tight the team has been the last couple of years, and even going into this year.
I mean, it's something we talk about a lot, actually. I live with my 2 roommates, Mike Rock and James Laceby. This is our 4th year living together now.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about how I think we have the absolute closest team in the entire country. There's not a single person's team that doesn't know you, won't talk to you, isn't your absolute best friend anytime. And that's been through ups and downs. We've been here through really great seasons, 5-1, Loney Bowl. Obviously last year was a bit of a struggle, missed the playoffs. No matter what, the guys are right next to each other the whole time.
Yep. A lot of team camaraderie that you guys will take on for life even when you leave here. Tell us a little bit, maybe, big game here, homecoming, lots of history here, some honorary captains that you've had all year, jersey being retired here for Gary Ross. Maybe tell us what it's like for the players to sort of get to witness or experience some of the history that's gone on here at Mount Allison.
I mean, Mount A's got a great football program with a phenomenal history. And I think what is always coolest part about homecoming to me is seeing the guys who played here before us, even decades before, come back and be as passionate today as they were back then, and as passionate as I am about the program right now. They care about winning today as much as I care about winning today. And we all have the same stories and all experience the exact same Mount A.
Wow, that's I love the passion. You get some fire in you. Obviously, game day, you're ready to go. Playing fullback, H-back. Maybe tell us a little about how that transition is coming from Ontario and how the positions change a little bit. You get the ball a little more now in the air. So maybe tell us about what your role is here with the team in that position.
I mean, I think the role of H-back, especially in Coach Jeffrey's offense, is just he lets you do a lot of different fun things.
Yep.
You get to block, you get to run with the ball, you get to catch the ball. But at the end of the day, you're just doing it for the guy next to you. You're trying to open up holes for your running back, trying to run routes to make your receiver open. And it's just benefit being the do-it-all utility guy.
All right, we are here at Mount Allison Field with the player voted the top CIS player of all time, 2-time Heck Creighton winner, Eric Lapointe, Mount A alumni, honorary captain today for homecoming. Welcome back, Eric. Some special moments for you on this field here in Sackville. Tell us what it feels like to be back here on campus.
It's so amazing. It's been probably over 10 years my last time that I came here, and seeing all the changes, seeing the new uniforms, the new stadium, the new stands, everything seems new. We look like a winning program. I'm glad to be here, especially to celebrate Gary Ross for Jersey's retirement. I'm meeting Grant Keeney for the first time, who was my idol when I was younger. Yes. It's an amazing event. It's a bit, I was very excited this week to come here, but when I learned the loss of Ted Gavaya, who passed away, who was my coach in '96, a bit sad, but at the same time I know that Ted would want us to celebrate, and coming here and probably have the minute of silence all together for Ted, I think it's the greatest thing that we can do.
No, absolutely. Teddy, GM of the Hamilton Ticats, had a big ceremony for him last night against Winnipeg. Like you said, those life experiences, Ted was a coach when you were here. You guys had a really tight team. Maybe tell us about how those friendships have lasted years after you hung up the cleats here at Mount A.
In my case, there was some friendship that started before. We were probably the last bunch of Francophones that were coming to the Maritimes. Yes. Marc Loranger was the coach of Francophone as well. Some of the players I knew from before from CEGEP, and some of the players arrived at the same time as me. We had a good group of Francophones trying to understand what was going on. I didn't speak a word of English. I had to learn fast. But even Gord Francis that I'm going to see today, Kris on O-line, Phil Girard on defense, all these guys, I see them every 2 or 3 years. It's always fun, and now that the team is playing in Bishop, they always come in Quebec as well. Makes it easier for the alumni from the Quebec alumni to go see the games and have a chance maybe to meet the new players. It's the friendships that we make here is forever. I'm trying to convince my daughter to come to Mount A to study. She's right there watching, and I'm hoping that she will, because it's an amazing place.
Yeah. The crowd's going to be pumped up today. Obviously, homecoming, getting to see one of their favorite players back here, Eric Lapointe. Tell us what it was like playing here Obviously, Allison Garden was here back in the day. You had the roof.
With the wall and all the painting. Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
Coaches out here on the high knoll. You know, it was a wild spot to be in the 90s. Maybe tell us about some of your memories of playing in front of sort of the wild crowd.
You see, you're talking about the couches. I remember running for probably 95 yards in preseason and going straight to the couch, seeing the guys with the beer. And I'm saying, maybe I should get a beer with you guys. And they thought it was so funny. We have that on video. It was funny, but just it's all the, obviously 96 is a big season when we thought the program was going south, and we didn't know what would happen, but getting together as a team with the O-line and seeing the O-line fighting for every yard that we were getting, that team was so solid. We played for the past, obviously, and we played for the future, wanted to keep the program alive, and we did fight and went through it and won our last 3 games of the season. For me, it's hard to forget about that as being probably the best time of our life, knowing what happened afterwards. So the program is still stronger than ever. I think we did our job that year.
Yeah, no, you guys left quite a legacy, and players have had to carry that on. Obviously, Gary Ross being honored here as well, having his number retired, as well as yourself already being the only number retired here at Mount A. You talked about that, sort of leaving that legacy, how tight you guys were. You went on to the pros. Maybe tell us about how you're still tight with everybody that you went to college with, even though you had a ton of success at the pro level.
Some of them, Philippe Girard also played in the CFL for a couple of years. Yep. After that, the guy that I recruit, Sébastien Roy, also made 2 years as a professional. There's a couple guys that actually follow our track. It was nice to see other players from Mount A going to play professional. Yep. Never had really the chance to see Gary Ross because I retired from the pros in 2006. That was my last year. I think Gary retired in 2008. I miss his career, but I saw his highlight and I was so amazed to see such an electrifying player. It would have been nice to be together on the same team. It would have been the Vanier Cup for sure. But again, even in the pros, everywhere we went, that's the fun part about Mount A, is that people are coming from everywhere across Canada. When you play in the pro, you go play in Winnipeg, you go play in Saskatchewan, you go play in Alberta. In every single city, there were some Mount A alumni. It was always fun to see everyone out. It kept me for 8 years. It gave me the chance to see some players. Some of my former players were former students here at Mount Allison, gave me the chance to meet with them and see them again. It felt like my career or my life at Mount Allison lasted longer than many people.
Every road game you made facing the CFL was just another Mount A alumni stop.
That was another reason to get a beer and just chit chat. You know, I said one beer. One.
No, that is great. You mentioned Coach Larange. He brought you here. Yeah. Obviously, you had a ton of success, set all the records at Vieux-Montréal, Cégep in Quebec. What was it that made the decision for you to come east, down to Sackville, and play for Coach Larange?
Really team chemistry, because the guys made sure that I didn't see the old stadium and the old locker room. They took care of that part, but I remember going to the pub, and again, I'm just saying the pub because that's where people talk more. Yeah. And again, remember, I was francophone. I couldn't speak a word of English, but Dave Luna was the team captain, and I remember talking with Dave, and he was telling me about the team chemistry, how the team would be solid and how we'd be working as a team, and I said, this is the team captain talking to me like we're friends, and it felt like it was me. It was really the type of atmosphere that I wanted. I wanted a team that there's no show off. Everyone is the same. Everyone wants to play together. No, there's no hierarchy. There's no. You're captain just because you bring people together, not because you're the best. And that's what I wanted for myself. And again, I never regretted that decision. Dave Luna is still a good friend. I'm hoping he's going to be here today, but he's really the reason why I came here.
Yeah, well, like you said, a lot of former alumni, some former teammates hopefully in attendance here for homecoming. Obviously you're going to address the team here as well, but how forward are you looking to being able to reconnect with some of your former teammates?
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been way too many years. It's especially for homecoming, coming here and knowing that the stadium is packed. I know the atmosphere, and that's the game that I love to play back in the days. Now being here, and I know they're going to introduce all the former players from every generation on the field, and every generation is the same. We're going to be a bunch of wild dogs today running in the field. Maybe some of us, not me, will remove their T-shirt and start running around. You never know. I think Gren's going to do that.
Oh, well, it's happened before. There's been a few.
Yeah, that would not be a surprise.
Pleased to be joined by number 80, Gary Ross, former Mountie, number being retired here today. Gary, homecoming, you're being honored here all day, basically honorary captain. Tell us a little bit what it means to you to be recognized here by your former team.
Oh man, it's huge. It's one of those things when you're playing, you kind of dream of, and you hope maybe one day you can achieve that, and to see it all come to fruition is really, really cool.
Yeah, like you said, 5 years here in the program.
Yeah.
Every year, basically a record-breaking season it seemed for you. Dynamic player. Tell us a little bit about what made your decision to come, being from Windsor, what made you come to Mount A here, along with a couple other recruits?
Yeah, Coach Lalonde, at the time he had reached out to me.
Yep.
And then we came out for a recruiting visit, and once I saw the campus and the people who hosted me on our recruitment weekend, it was just a fit, and I signed with them that weekend, and I was, the rest is history, as they say, I guess.
From there, pretty quick turnaround then, sold right away.
Yeah.
You really, after sort of the LaPointe era, a bit of a lull in the program, you were really a big part in sort of bringing the program back to prominence here. Maybe tell us what it was about sort of that group of teammates that got together to really sort of restore the program here at Mount A.
Yeah, I think we brought in a lot of talented hard workers.
Yep.
And we just made everybody else work as hard as us. And the guys that weren't willing to, they kind of fizzled out. And then the coaches did a really good job of just continually bringing guys in. We didn't have as much success on the field as we would have liked, but it was nice to see the generation right after us kind of latch on to everything and take it to the next level.
Yeah. Like you said, you guys sort of set that standard for the next group coming in, but even like you said, like you set the standards and here's how hard we have to work. You got to keep up. Maybe tell us about what setting that example did for the rest of the team.
I think when your hardest player or your best players are your hardest working players, it forces them to follow suit, right? If your best player's taking plays off and not doing what he needs to, then the other guys think they can. So Kelly, TJ, myself, we all did a really good job of doing that at the time.
Yeah. The homecoming weekend here for you guys, get to see a lot of former teammates. Mm-hmm. What is it that's special about sort of reconnecting with a lot of your former players?
That's one of the best things about playing sports is the relationships that you build. We have a group of guys that goes on an annual golf trip. It's a brotherhood. I think a lot of us seek that in sports, and you carry it on afterwards, and that's what's really special. That's what I most remember about playing sports is all those friendships and just the special moments.
Yeah. All right, we are here with Mount Allison standout, former two-time AUS MVP, one of the key parts of the 1991 Vanier Cup team here, Grant Keeney. Grant, unbelievable career here at Mount A, came back and coached. Tell us what it means for you to be back on campus here today for homecoming.
Well, it's absolutely surreal. I mean, there were so many reasons to come back. You've got to meet Eric LaPointe, to celebrate Gary Ross retiring as number 80, to see the Mounties beat Acadia for their homecoming game. It's just magic to meet Scott Brady and to watch some of the practices, to speak to some of the players, and to have a good conversation with Coach Brady about what he's doing with his program. It's exciting. This program is growing. It's getting stronger every season. I can't wait to see a victory today. It's going to be good.
Wow, I love that. I love the confidence there.
Absolutely.
Like you said, you brought a lot of swagger to the team here when you came down in the early 90s. Tell us a little bit about that decision coming from Ontario. What made you choose Mount Allison here to pursue your football career?
Right, that was a simple decision. I was playing in high school at Burlington, Ontario, at a place called Aldershot High School. Loved it, but I knew that I wanted to go to a university that needed a tailback, that had a program that I wished to pursue, which was English and theater, and did they have a Bachelor of Education program? And Mount Allison at that time had all three. And I knew I had made the right decision. I was very fortunate. I got to start my first year. I was in my English classes learning my career I wanted to learn about, and of course knowing that at the very end of the tunnel I wanted to pursue the Bachelor of Education program. I was so lucky and fortunate to have all three here, and being back here decades later, it's absolute magic. Love it.
Yeah, you were like you said, unreal player here in your day, set all the rushing records until this LaPointe guy came along. But a standout, MVP caliber player, going to the Vanier Cup. Only 2 times the school has made an appearance in the Vanier. Tell us a little about how tight that team was, and what are your memories of that sort of championship season?
Well, it was incredible. I mean, everyone made my job extremely easy. I had a fantastic fullback in Scott O'Neill. I had fantastic linemen in the way of Ted Gavea, Kris Nunn, and everyone else. It was incredible. We were a very tight-knit family. And when we were playing in the Atlantic Bowl or whether we were playing in the Vanier Cup, we were representing New Brunswick. We were representing the Maritimes, and we were a very tight-knit team because we felt like we were a family, just a brotherhood, just pushing the ball forward and winning games 1 yard at a time, 1 point at a time. We came up a little short in the Vanier, but what it did for Sackville and Mount Allison, it got us on the map. People like, as you referred to, Eric was one person who said, you know what, I like what's going on there in Mount A, I want to go there, and look what Eric did. Gary, same thing. I like what's going on with what Eric did, I'm going there, and look what Gary did. And now all the three of us have ever done is just set the stage for future Mounties just to keep on climbing 1 yard at a time, 1 point at a time, one homecoming victory at a time, and it's going to be incredible again and again and again. And what Coach Scott Brady is doing here with this program is just exceptional, and that he's back for his first year right now after a little bit of time away. I've talked to the players. They recognize the positivity. I see it too. I've watched a few practices. I've talked with some of the players. They like where the program's going, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go from here.
No, I love the like you said, the fact that you watch practice. Yeah. You mentioned, like you said, teammates with Teddy Gavea, ceremony for him last night in Hamilton. Yeah. Maybe tell us about what, being from Burlington, maybe tell us about your experience having played with and known Teddy for a long time.
Well, one of the reasons Ted came here was because he was a Burlington boy just like me, and there were maybe 6, 7, 8 of us, all from Burlington, the Burlington boys and the Mount Allison team, and Ted was one of them. And in my last couple of years, that's when I met Ted, and one of the reasons why he came out, and as well as some other people from Burlington, is because they said, hey, if Grant can do it, okay, I'm going to give it a try too. So I had the pleasure of playing with, meeting Ted and everyone else from Burlington, but I tell you, it was a true shock when I learned of his passing yesterday. But I know that his spirit is with us. I know that he is going to be watching over us as Hamilton won last night, the Tiger Cats, and as the Mounties will do today, all in his honor. And it was an absolute pleasure to play with him, that's for certain.
Nope. A lot of homecoming weekend, going to be a lot of former teammates meeting up with, getting the opportunity to sort of catch up with some former players. So that's going to be great. But like you said, today also really about Gary Ross here, number 80, his jersey being retired. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what that means for an alumni to have his number honored here at Macaulay Field.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that, Macaulay Field. Decades ago when they did retire my number, that was also the same celebration. It was the same evening that they dedicated the field to Dave Macaulay. Yep. So I had the absolute honor of sharing that evening with David Macaulay when they called it Macaulay Field. And I was last at Mount Allison many years ago when I saw Gary Ross play. That was his last season. And what this guy did was just mesmerizing. And when I heard that Mount Allison was finally retiring his jersey, number 80, I would be remiss if I weren't here. And I was so glad that both Eric and I could be here for this big day for Gary. It's going to be fantastic. And there is a rumor that Gary might be playing today. He might just don the number 80 one more time. And then, of course, when Eric heard that, Eric said, I might just put on my number 5. And I said, done. Yeah. 34, let's get out there, see if anyone notices. But all kidding aside, I tell you, that Gary Ross, I mean, the records that he put up, that Mount Allison is celebrating his big day, I think it's fantastic, completely well-deserved. And when I look at all of these murals that they put up for we 3 players, I know that there are so many other vacancies in the wall that are just awaiting future Mount Allison players to have their numbers retired. And that's a sight I cannot wait to see.
No, a ton of history here in the program, tons of great players that have come through. Yeah. But this place would come absolutely unglued if you, LaPointe, and Ross ran out of the tunnel in gear.
that would be something else. I would love it. Just to have one more crack at Acadia, I would not mind that at all. That would be a pleasure. Yeah.
No, well, an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Pleasure.
One of the Mount A greats to ever do it. Pleasure to see you back here on campus and celebrating homecoming.
Absolutely.
The Mounties are pulling her out today. All the best to you. And like I said, hope to speak with you in the future.
Thank you. Once a Mountie, always a Mountie. Thank you.
Awesome.